This is the What I Need podcast, a shared journey exploring topics of society, spirituality, and even ways of being. Here, we speak freely and fully, from the heart and the conscious mind, in hopes to find what we need. Thank you, for your time is valuable and you could have been anywhere else in the universe. All of you are welcomed and appreciated here.
Hello, welcome to the What I Need podcast. I'm not even sure I'm going to put this out, but I want to give it a shot while this is on my mind. A lot of times when these things come to my mind, it's less of my brain and education, and more of a conscious connection that has brought information down from source. And I know that might sound weird, but actually it all does at some point make sense. It's starting to make more sense for me. And it's not like an uncomfortable thing. It's kind of like I'm very thankful for it. I just think I've been a little bit shy about it because I've been... we've all been conditioned and we've all been told certain things, and we all have ideas about ourselves that are and aren't true. I urge everyone to begin to let those self-limiting beliefs go so that you can be your unlimited self, whatever it may emerge to be. Because if you put a limitation on yourself, you will be limited. If you unlimit yourself, you will be unlimited. Somehow, okay? And so what was coming to mind is that I've been reading this book, and I've only been reading a few pages. Like a lot of the books I have, and I need to get better at this, but a lot of the books I have, I haven't read like only half, not even half of them. But, you know, I think it's not, actually, I have to get better at it, but I also don't, because I don't look at TV as much as I used to. You know, and sometimes we'll flip the channel, and we flip and watch all these channels with reality TV shows and bullshit and all this stuff on there. And I mean, I guess I have my books. I got so many books, but when I decide to open those are just the channel I want to be on, you know. I do think it is beneficial. And more productive to finish books in a timely manner and have that knowledge like cohesive in your head, and then be able to move on to the next book, because you do run the risk of not finishing it, needing to return it to the library, kind of needing to brush up. But I'm really enjoying my reading journey, and I want to encourage anybody listening to this show to read. And I'm somebody who didn't start reading like casually until my like 30s. Because was told and conditioned that ADHD and he's not a strong reader, blah, 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 blah. And now look what I'm about to explain to you anyway. So, I've been pondering. So I have this book, The Loom of God, Mathematical Tapestries at the Edge of Time. This is such an amazing book. It discusses, the reason I got this book, first of all, is because I have seemed to happen upon numerology and angel numbers somehow, by seeing repetitive numbers and kind of be like, what is that? Also in my music, I have said things about, you know, Matrix, and I've always loved that movie since I was a kid. You know, this is not out of the blue. This has been for years. It's been for my whole life. So I think when we mature and we've had a certain set of interests, you know, from a kid, those interests, those influences, obviously they mature and become something. So a lot of my interests I think are becoming something now that are, I guess, more applicable to me understanding the world in a unique way, which is the same way. I mean, I guess I've always understood the world, which is unique. So again, I have to make these things unweird for myself because I have just always led a very unique understanding in life. It has not been the status quo. It has not been what people usually think about. It has not been. It has been the Twilight Zone-y type stuff. It has been the supernatural or that type of stuff. So, Matrix, one of my favorite movies, a lot of people's favorite movie. It was actually written by a black woman and pitched to Warner Brothers in the 80s and then put out by Warner Brothers without her in the 2000s just to come off the dome with that information. Anyway, so I noticed the numerology when there's a couple of times I heard about numerology. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, shout out to TLC. I love TLC and I love Lisa. We all heard about her passing, and we also heard about her journey to Honduras to see Dr. Sebi and to impart spirituality and get in touch with her roots, because I believe she was part from there. And numerology was something that she had been getting into. I remember as a kid, that's what I'm saying. This has always been, that's how you start realizing something is aligned to your path. And a lot of things that we looked at as kids or that we had interest in that seemed kind of maybe childish or imaginary, some of that stuff was not imaginary. You'd be wise to not let go of everything that you used to imagine about, that you used to be fascinated about as a child, because that's before your brain, that's before you was non-innocent and distracted by all this stuff in the world. And I have been distracted too, so I'm not any better than you or anyone, because I have been distracted by all these different things in the world too. But see, I'm coming back to and remembering the things that I was really interested in the stuff that I was actually fascinated with. And that's why I take it time now to express this, because it's kind of like it's just it's a thing for me. So anyway, numerology. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, she had flown to Honduras to see Dr. Sebi, to handle her personal health business with him, and do some holistic healing. I do remember watching her documentary, and she talked about being interested in numerology. So I've heard about it since then, but I really didn't know what it was. Fast forward to my time in California. Certain friends I met out there would mention it, and I think they would casually mention when we're driving. I remember I was with a homegirl, and we were driving back from Vegas, and she was like, slug bug, no slug bug back, and to this Beetle car or whatever, and she's like, oh, there's an angel number on that bug, and it says 111 or 555, and I'm like, what do you think the significance of that is? And she's like, it means alignment. And she's like, she called herself a fairy being, and that was her kind of spirituality. Like she was very still allowing her imagination to be active and be a part of her lifestyle. And at that time, I seen it as somewhat playful. And I even think she still was kind of playful with it. I don't know how deep her spirituality went with it, because I just don't want to speak for that. I never want to assume what someone's level of faith or spirituality is, because I feel like that has been done with me several times, and a lot of people have been mistaken. But anyway, so she kind of introduced that to me, in a way, because I don't like to give all my juice away and say like people introduce me to stuff. People have no clue what I knew before or what I know or what, but at the same time, I like to give people their kudos. So I'm halfway with that. Like I know some things and other people know some things. I have no problem with that, but I'm not going to act like I got all my information from somebody else. That's not. Sometimes my information is coming directly through my connection to source. And I need to validate that, because I just need to validate that at this point. So anyway, she pointed out this angel number on the slug bug, which I hate that game. Like, don't punch me out of the blue. And the number. So her explanation was, she just said alignment. And I do remember thinking, I want a deeper explanation, because just to see a number and say, well, that means alignment. We're in the right place, or we're here or there. So that must mean something, but the something has not been. Sorry, honey, move. The cat trying to brush by coincidentally and knock my whole setup over. I'm like, nope. Love you, but no. Anyway, so I didn't do it hard, but we have a certain relationship. So anyway, I wanted a deeper explanation about that concept. So that concept was kind of like introduced there, and I'm like, it's got to mean something more if you're seeing that, those numbers and they supposedly mean something, or it's, like the 4-leaf clover thing, or fortune cookie thing, or coincidence, serendipitous thing. And, what is that? In later years, or a couple years from then, I don't have all the times and stuff, I have really come to understand and navigate life by looking at the code. Looking at angel numbers, codes, sequences, and it is possible. It not only is it possible, it's completely real. So this book, The Loom of God, talks about how mathematics has played a role in nature, the way things are, spiral universes and Fibonacci sequences, Pythagorean theorems, and how these play out into architecture, how they play out into so many things, stained glass windows, trees of life, sacred geometry, mandalas. So the code is also, witnessed there in art. Mona Lisa's, Da Vinci. Well, he's an artist. Sistine Chapel. These things are all imparting mathematical sequences to come to be. Again, let's step back from it being so mind-blowingly strange and just look at it for what it is. I was just saying that I don't think creation has been set up for us to fail. Creation have been set up for us. Most of the creation stories I know have been set up for us to be in paradise, and then we did something. So why would it be out of the question that those keys to paradise don't still exist here on the planet? You know, why does it seem like it's so obvious that it's supposed to be hard rather than supposed to be some kind of intrinsic intuitive guidance that if we only look for the signs that we can read them and follow them to the right direction? Okay, I am in the belief system that is more so the case. That's my belief system. That God loves me and you. Whatever it is, wherever it emerged from. Let's start with let there be light. Okay? Because either way, if that was the Big Bang or let there be light, it sounded like the same thing, except for one doesn't have an explanation and one does. Okay? Now, or actually, I think they both have explanations now. So, either way, this is such a all over the place episode, because I need to start doing my episodes a little bit more not off the top of the dome, but the way I figure and the type of stuff that I'm bringing to talk about. I think I'm lucky to just record it down at all and just have it be a pondering mess of anything at all. So Loom of God, Mathematical Tapestry at the Edge of Time, great book. Check it out. It explains some things about how, symmetry and patterns and stuff have always played a role in the universe and still do, down to the very fractal that you are. Now, we are living in oh Jesus. Okay, so we are now in a time where we are considering religion, spirituality, and quantum physics. And these three are quantum physics / metaphysics. These things are what I would like to say, my opinion, my bold opinion, my audacious opinion. Oh my God, somebody get out the I don't know, whatever they want to use to slay the heretic that sounding real on point. I'm not a heretic, but they can say whatever they want. So we're dealing with now and considering as a global community, religion, spirituality, and quantum physics. Now, religion and spirituality have both been around the whole time, okay? And well, pretty much the whole time. I think, one is a little bit more ethereal than the other and probably comes before, but they have swapped places at a point in time somewhere after America got started. I don't know why. Shady boots. But anyway, they have been brother and sister, or sister and sister, or brother and brother, whatever. They have been, swapping places for a while, and then, religion have been solidly in place for a while. Now spirituality is coming back, but spirituality is coming back with quantum physics and metaphysics, okay, to add a little bit more teeth to the validity of such things, okay, aka we don't got time for the bullshit. We want to know what's really going on, and we had science. Okay, well, I guess quantum physics and metaphysics, we are going to say that's science. But see, science had been around too for that whole time. Okay, let me say that over again. Religion, spirituality, and science. So we've always almost had these things for a long time. And I think we live in a time right now where all three of them are having to play nice, and I am so happy. All three of these things are having to play nice. Religion, spirituality, and science. You all three need to play nice. Welcome to the What I Need podcast, where we talk about spirituality, society, and ways of being. Play nice. And I say play nice because I think they all three have something to learn from each other. I think they all have certain things they can validate about one another to get to a point of a higher point of successful creation. Oh, they don't have to destroy each other and one be right and the others be obsolete? Well, not in my my goodness, who said that? Not this generation. So, no, we're trying to see how to connect the dots actually between those three. Some of us, I know I am. And I think that's why I talk like this and it'd be like this. Ooh, okay. Well, and yeah, there's definitely implications, that science is able to validate a lot of things in spirituality. I think I've spent the last 2 years becoming a little bit more of a spiritualist or Christian mystic. I mean, I was raised Baptist. I told y'all that on spiritual warfare, so that's the history. And then when I became adult, and then I was raised Baptist, I am gay. So, while sitting in the church pews, there's a couple of times where homophobia, abomination. It's an abomination. So, when preacher says that, but you already had the love of Jesus in your heart, you may step away for a second. Not because you don't love Jesus and God, but because they said you're an abomination at the front of the altar on the pulpit. So maybe you didn't think you were welcome there. Anyway, when I went to California for 12 years, actually I didn't get into spirituality like per se until 2022, until my 33rd birthday. However, well, no, it's so weird. I guess I have been interested in, again, like the paranormal and like spirits or ghosts, because I would always have I would have experiences as a kid and just think it's real. My birthday's in October, so that's when Halloween would be. Not that I'm interested in all of the people think Halloween is such about evil and stuff. Come on, if you make your Halloween about evil, that's on your weird ass. I think Halloween is about fantasy and just the fun of like something else being, and that's something else like as in not church and stuff, but that there's more of a spiritual realm than we usually talk about. And Halloween is a time frame where that is talked about, right? And I don't know why they planned anyway. There were Nephilim in those days, right? Or no? So, which one is it? So yeah, he had been interested in, the times where it was okay to talk more about spiritual or there being another level. Yeah, he was in church. The Holy Spirit was moving around, having people being knocked out onto the floor or jigging around the whole sanctuary, looking like it was taking over their whole body and cleansing out whatever had them, So that was paranormal. It's not, that's the way I see things. I think people get it confused, but when we talk about biblical or paranormal or spiritual, that's how I see it all rolled up into one. A lot of times we have separated religion from spirituality, but they were never separate. Okay, now the immersion of science with metaphysics and quantum physics with a little bit more grit and teeth to the validity of multi-dimensions, one particle or two particles occupying the same position seen by scientists, kind of proving the situation. So those things become not science fiction anymore. Now what I think is we start paying attention to it. We start giving a little bit of respect to those situations, because when they've been looked at under the microscope and say, well, okay, well, sir, ma'am, sis, bruh, my nigga, this shit is real. Okay? When I didn't make it up, because I'm not a quantum scientist. I just read and seen articles, and now experience wise, I'll have to get to that another day. Actually, I do have to get to this a little bit today. So I was talking about vibration. This is crazy, but this is crazy. I was talking about vibration, frequency, and sound. Now, my boy Nikola Tesla has said that is the way to know the secrets of the universe. And I've known that for a few years, that saying. And I've always been like, wow, what an amazing, man he must have been. And when I made my Poseidon sound healing experience, that was one of the quotes. I was Nikola Tesla was kind of an inspiration for that. Poseidon, the reason, so I know Poseidon is the name of a Greek god. It has really nothing to do with that, other than representation of the ocean, and that the ocean has power. The ocean is an emotional kind of substance where it could be very strong in one instance, it could be still and gentle in another. So sound healing to bring the emotions into calm, and that you could rest and relax. That's why I named it Poseidon. People get real touchy about names and stuff like that. Certain people do, like super religious people do, and then when you want to talk about things, they want to cast you out. Stop doing that. We need to all talk, okay? Now, you don't get to choose who's casted out. Some people are chosen from beyond your choosing. Now, that always reveals itself anyway. So you can, several seats, if you thought you could exile people. Some people you can't. Poseidon sound healing experience, in that Nikola Tesla's quote, frequency, vibration, and sound will reveal the key to the universe, secrets to the universe. I feel like he was right. I mean, he was a massive genius that they shut down after he offered them a instruction to free electricity and electric cars. That's why Elon Musk named his car company after Tesla. He should be highlighting that Tesla got shut down for, systematically shut down. And was he tortured? It wasn't a happy ending, but he deserves some respect. So we do give a honor to Nikola Tesla for his discovery in that quote, because that has obviously affected generations and inspired people like myself, and here we are. So shout out to the homeboy Nikola Tesla up in here, and you're welcome, Elon Musk, for the car name make sure you highlight that man too when you're mentioning his name all over your cars. Those cars that could have been here maybe 100 or 200 years ago, because that's when he had said that. I feel like it's kind of messed up, like certain things like that information are available, and some people present ideas like that and they don't come to light, and then they have quotes and things, and it's like 100, 200 years later where there's validity added on to what was said. He's not unimportant. He's not a nobody. He does not deserve to be forgotten and somebody else use his name for a billion-dollar company or whatever. So I don't know if he's been highlighted like that, but that's how I'm going to highlight Nikola Tesla, because that's how I feel about it. These discoveries that religion and spirituality and science, quantum and metaphysics, are becoming more quantifiable and definable, are not abominations and atrocities. They are information that is going to help all of us survive the rest of eternity, if we want that. If we want to have information that we don't need to use fossil fuels any longer, while we got Trump talking about drill, baby, drill. Maybe quantum science and spirituality and religious anecdotes, love thy neighbor as thyself. Maybe all three of those come together to find an answer that we've never had before, rather than upset you and make you mad because it's not what you're used to. Obviously you can see I've had to deal with this for quite a while, because I do feel a way about it. I feel like it's always been like, that's all blaspheme. To who? It's blaspheme to make sure that creation survives, being a steward of the earth and figuring out the answer to more rather than less, to joy rather than pain, to unity rather than destruction. Blaspheme to who? What are you serving if you're not trying to find the answer? So that's why I wanted to mention that today. Sorry if this episode was all over the place, but I'm just glad I got it recorded, and have a nice day.